Hello, and welcome to the Daily Atheist. I'm Chris Mallard. Thank you for joining me. In this episode of the Evil God Monster of Abraham series, we'll cover Genesis chapter 13 in the Book of Death. It sounds boring, but it's not boring. This is the chapter in which Abram and Lot are so wealthy from whoring out Abram's sister-niece wife to the Pharaoh that they decided to go their separate ways, and Abram's God starts giving away other people's stuff. Stick around. Don't let shifty inbred prophets take your stuff in the name of their imaginary gods by hitting that subscribe button, then that little notification bell. Stay safe, my friends. Now, on with the show. Not a lot happens in chapter 13, really. As we learned in chapter 12, Abram pimped out his incestuous sister wife to the Pharaoh of Egypt, and the book specifically states that he gained great wealth in the form of sheep, cattle, camels, and human slaves for doing so. It's hard to tell how much crotch coin came from renting out his sister wife's hoo-ha, but it must have been significant. In fact, he and Lot could travel just fine getting to Egypt, but they had both grown so wealthy that when they left Egypt, they were having trouble managing all their possessions. They traveled together for a bit, then they had to go their separate ways. Genesis 13, 5-7. Now Lot, who was moving about with Abram, also had flocks and herds and tents, but the land could not support them while they stayed together, for their possessions were so great that they were not able to stay together. And quarreling arose between Abram's herders and Lot's. So they've grown so wealthy that they're having a hard time sharing the land. Understandably, it's at this point that Abram comes up with a perfectly sensible notion of going their separate ways. Genesis 13, 8 and 9. So Abram said to Lot, "Let's not have any quarreling between you and me, or between your herders and mine, for we are close relatives. Is not the whole land before you? Let's part company. If you go to the left, I'll go to the right. If you go to the right, I'll go to the left." I think this is pretty cool of Abram. He realized the land can't handle them both, then gives Lot his choice. No harm, no foul. Choose where you want to go. I'll go the other way. To that end, Genesis 13, 10-13, Lot looked around and saw that the whole plain of the Jordan towards Zoar was well watered, like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. So Lot chose for himself the whole plain of the Jordan and set out towards the east. The two men parted company. Abram lived in the land of Canaan, while Lot lived among the cities of the plain and pitched his tent near Sodom. Now the people of Sodom were wicked and were sinning greatly against the Lord. For the record, I'd like to point out that the inhabitants of Sodom and Gomorrah are also Canaanites, still vilifying the descendants of Ham. So at this point, Abram is giving away land he doesn't own to his nephew Lot. Then, just to keep things interesting, Abram's God does the same thing. It waits until Lot leaves, then it gives everything, including the land just given to Lot by Abram, to Abram. It's all his. His delusional God just hefted him the land of dozens of other tribes and peoples. Genesis 14. The Lord said to Abram after Lot had parted from him, "Look around from where you are, to the north and south, to the east and west. All the land that you see, I will give to you and your offspring forever. I will make your offspring like the dust of the earth, so that if anyone could count the dust, then your offspring could be counted. Go. Walk through the length and breadth of the land, for I am giving it to you." A recurring theme of taking land already owned and populated by someone else because a voice in your head told you to do so, no matter how many people suffer and die. Exactly what you'd expect from the evil God monster of Abraham and its Book of Death. Remember, avoid getting the prophet plague on your crotch critter by clicking that subscribe button and hitting that little notification bell. Want to catch the series from the start? Click here. Send safely, my friends. Take care.